It's Friday, November 20th, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. The ban imposed on poultry products from the United Kingdom provides an ease for struggling local poultry producers. That's according to Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, who maintains that local producers are well placed to supply the current market demand. Paul says while the sector is not gloating over the UK's misfortune, it paves the way for Barbadians to buy more local chicken to help restore the sector hard hit by reduced sales as a result of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Thirdly, the thing is really that for us it would ease the pressure a bit because we do know that the UK happens to be one of the major suppliers of chicken wing. And certainly the ban on poultry products coming out from the UK market means that more reliance will have to be put on the local poultry sector. And therefore, that market space that we're talking about trying to regain for the local poultry sector is something that we can achieve.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security's Veterinary Services Unit on Wednesday announced a temporary ban on the importation of all commercial imports of poultry, hatching eggs, and fresh, frozen, or chilled poultry products into Barbados due to an outbreak of highly pathogenic avian influenza in the UK. An immediate ban was also enforced on personal imports of live birds, feathers, and food containing poultry products. Paul said the ban was critical to keeping at bay any potential disease which would put the local poultry sector at risk.
Generally, I am very supportive of the ban. I want to indicate that for more than one reason. One, not only because of the fact that it frees up market space that our local poultry producers need at this point in time, especially during a period where the economy is depressed and the profit is down. We want to ensure that people buy more local chicken, but also because of the fact that bringing in any poultry product from any destination where there is a disease poses a threat to our local poultry industry because you're most likely bringing in a disease that we don't have already and we will not want to have. So I'm appealing to persons who might be tempted to import poultry products from areas that do have a problem. Please desist from doing this, and I will want to encourage the veterinary authorities in the country to continue to have do those environmental scans and put in place those measures like the ban where it is necessary to protect our local poultry industry.
Insufficient. That's how Opposition Leader Bishop Joseph Atherley has described the explanation given by Tourism Minister Senator Lisa Cummins about the terms and conditions of a 25-year lease of Harrison's Cave granted to Chucker Caribbean Adventures. In a statement on Thursday, Atherley demanded that Barbadians be given what he said were the specifics of the arrangement, including information on concessions, the proceeds of foreign exchange earned, and the extent of local investment in the Jamaican-based company. On Wednesday, Minister Cummins likened the agreement with Chucker to the relationship between the Hilton Barbados and the global franchise which manages the hotel. She further stressed that a successor company would be established to return management of Caves of Barbados to the government. But the explanation has not gone down well with Bishop Atherley and his People's Party for Democracy and Development, which has been questioning the proposal for months. More Barbadians are vacationing at home as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and this has been creating some well-needed business for some of the struggling hoteliers over the past few months. However, tourism officials are leaving nothing to chance as they embark on plans to ramp up their staycation marketing campaign. Chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Senator Rudy Grant, speaking during a quarterly media briefing held virtually on Thursday, said members have been reporting very good responses to the staycation program.
The response to the staycation program has been extremely good. I should inform that, this is not the first time that the hotels are doing staycation. This has really become an important component for hotels over the years. What we have been observing is that more Barbadians are taking the opportunity to have a vacation in Barbados. In fact, only about 3 weeks ago, there was a party of 12 persons coming into Barbados, and they wanted to stay at a specific hotel. And for the period of time that they wanted to stay, the rooms were not available. And the rooms were not available because of Barbadians staying at the property. Many of our members have reported that they've had some very good responses to the staycation program. So that's one that is very positive. It keeps persons employed. It provides some measure of income to the hotels, which is good, but it also allows the opportunity for Barbadians to be able to
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from our regional neighbors now. In St. Lucia, supermarket chain Massey Stores has confirmed that an unspecified number of its employees have been affected by COVID-19. The development comes as the country records an increase in cases. We get more in this report from HTS News Force.
The grocery store chain indicates that it will continue to maintain the privacy of the workers, and therefore no further details on the personal identity of the affected employees will be disclosed. According to Massey, quote, "The safety of all our team is very important to us, and as such, the necessary contact tracing procedures are being followed. We fully appreciate the need to balance protecting the private medical information of team members who may have COVID-19 while also ensuring the continued safe operations of all of our locations," end quote. The company reveals that through the contact tracing process, a list of all persons who may have had direct contact with the individuals has been identified and contacted by the Ministry of Health, and individuals who have been identified as close contacts have been tested and quarantined as required. According to Massey, quote, "The location where the individuals operate has undergone several deep cleaning sessions with very specific focus on areas of high-touch areas, inclusive of offices. Working closely with the Ministry of Health's protocols, the company is monitoring the situation very closely to ensure that all business operations across locations can continue to operate safely to serve valued customers," end quote. The company says equipment has been purchased to enhance the sanitation practices at all locations, and the chain will continue to do all within its control to keep staff, suppliers, customers, and all within its premises safe.
And finally, on the international scene, U.S. officials are urging Americans to remain vigilant against COVID-19 until a vaccine arrives, as the number of cases continue to rise. More in this report from Reuters TV.
The first White House coronavirus task force briefing in months portrayed a country still engulfed by the pandemic, though health officials repeatedly stressed that
help is on the way.
Thursday's briefing, which featured some familiar faces, minus President Donald Trump and advisor Scott Atlas, highlighted the unprecedented spread of the coronavirus in the U.S., with officials urging Americans to stay vigilant until a vaccine arrives. Dr. Deborah Burks.
This is more cases more rapidly than what we had seen before. We're asking every American to remain vigilant, to do those things that we have been asking you all to do, to wear a mask, to physically distance, to continue your hand hygiene, but really in this moment of bringing people together, to really limit interactions indoors to immediate households.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, back at the lectern after being sidelined by the White House, said that the recent good news on vaccine development suggested they will be a major tool against the virus, as the death toll raced past 250,000 lives in the U.S. alone.
That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.